All right, magandang gabi mga kakape and welcome back to another episode of Kapihan with Sir Lex. Of course, we are now on Season 3, Episode 14. Ayan, magandang gabi po mga kakape and I think umuulan, no? Medyo umuulan ngayon, no? At meron pa parating na bagyo and hopefully hindi naman to maglandfall and but please no still be safe. Ayan, sa ating lahat, no? Especially dito sa mga nasa Pilipinas. Yan. Again, magandang gabi mga kakape. Welcome back to another episode of Kapihan with Sir Lex. And we're now again at Season 3, Episode 14. But before I go to, the Kapihan proper, let me first give a shout out doon sa nagbigay ng aking cup. Okay, this cup is from my students sa isang program ni Lex called the Lean Six Sigma Green Belt Program. We have the graduation ceremony May 16 or 17. So shout out muna sa aking mga students, of course kay Angelo, kay Ian, kay Erica, kay Richard at saka kay Joel. And of course, sa kanilang mababait na boss for accommodating me on the plant tour, on the meeting for their projects. Andyan si Miss Bads, si Sir Lex, at si Sir John. Ayan. So, maraming salamat po. And another shout out, yan, sa katatapos lamang na program as part of the Arise Plus Philippines under International Trade Center in partnership with DTI and PSQ. Ayan, sa mga classmate ko, dyan sa program na yan and at sa mga nakasama ko for a whole week of the trainer na session. Ayan. And sa mga mentors namin, of course, kay Margareta, kay Margaret, and kay Josh. So, yan. Maraming salamat. And of course, again, welcome back. We're now still at Season 3, Episode 14. And we have a very special guest. Ayan. And let me introduce to you this special guest for our session. Our guest for tonight is a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Industrial Engineering at Technological Institute of the Philippines, Quezon City. She has attended a number of local and international research conferences way back year 2021. A former TIPQC Supreme Student Council officer, served as an ambassador and communications director of the Philippine Institute of Industrial Engineers National Student Chapter, prior to being appointed as Vice President for Communications of the same organization. She took part in the second Asia-Pacific Conference on Industrial Engineering and Operations Management, a certified Lean Six Sigma Yellow Belt, a certified Safety Officer 2. She bagged 3 awards at the recently concluded 7th ASEAN Foundation Model ASEAN meeting with about 190 students, 19 of which are from the Philippines, participated in this particular event, and where she showcased her leadership skill and was delegated as the senior official for ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community. Currently, she is a demand and supply planning engineer or analyst from Puratos, Philippines. Everyone, let's talk, let's listen, let's hear her story and reflection with our guest for Season 3, Episode 14, Kapihan with Sir Lex, featuring none other than engineer Christine Landicho. Ayan. Magandang gabi po, engineer.
Hi, good evening, Sir Lex.
Ayan. So, kamusta?
Hello, okay naman po ako dito. Sana safe din po kayo dyan.
Yan. So, kanina we were talking in the backstage. Medyo we're having trouble kasi malakas yung ulan sa area niya currently. So, yan. Medyo nagpaparamdam na yung ating yung bagyong paparating. But anyways, so, yeah, it's been a while. You've been part of, some of the programs ng ASLEX as I can remember. And currently we're still connected, doing some things in the back end for her company naman. But yeah, kamusta? I mean, you graduated just last year, no? I mean, officially last year.
Yes po, last year, September.
Yan. So fresh grad na fresh grad. So pag-usapan natin yan later. Yan. But of course, as the flow, no, as the flow suggests, let's talk about first your, the decision of taking this particular course. Industrial engineering. Is it something that as a result of an influence from some family members or friends, or paano ba? Could you walk us through about this decision taking up this course?
So, my choice in college is industrial engineering. Na-learn ko kasi na nung senior high school ako na may talent ako sa research.
Mm-hmm.
Parang mas na-pick ng research yung interest ko. Kasi gusto ko yung thought na may inaalam kang bagay na sinusolve ka gamit yung proseso. And alam naman natin na ang industrial engineers, we are process owners. And yun, ginagawa natin yung mga ways to make things more efficient. And ayun. Kaya sa tingin ko, gusto ko IE. And ang one na ma-share ko din is gusto ko yung IE kasi basically ang IE kaya niya lahat. Di naman sa pero ayun yung concept ko ng IE way back kasi may part siya ng business, may part din siya ng engineering, may touch din siya ng psychology. So basically, matatouch ko lahat ng mga aspects na yun when I learn industrial engineering. Kaya mas nandun yung ko na, ay gusto ko mag-take ng IE. Challenging siya and ayun, na-pick niya talaga yung interest ko way back.
Wow. So, pag nakakarinig ako ng mga first choice nila, yung course na pinurso nila, I am really amazed. Kasi, parang during high school kasi ngayon may senior high na, of course. Nung high school, parang I don't know so many things about courses and all. I'm just curious. So okay, you mentioned that you've discovered that you have an interest or inclination sa research. So yung IE, is it something that you research na parang based on what you discovered? Kasi there could be like so many engineering disciplines out there. Pero bakit ka nag-fall specifically sa IE? Parang nag-research ka ba? Nagtanong-tanong? For parang as a reference for those who are in the senior high school in the process of, kasi malapit yung graduation, choosing the course and whatnot.
Ayun. So, nalaman ko industrial engineer. Tama naman po kayo, Sir Lex. Kasi nag-search din talaga ako ng engineering na pwedeng available for study. And ayun, yung industrial engineering na foresee ko siya na in demand siya in the coming years when I enter college na. So, sa tingin ko, ito yung better choice for me. Aside from that, broad yung industrial engineering, marami kang aspects na matatamaan. And ako, as someone na very curious sa mga bagay-bagay, gusto ko, may alam ako sa ganito, ganyan. Kaya, industrial engineering ang pinili ko po, Sir Lex.
Nice, no? So again, not being biased, no? I mean, I encourage any person who wants to share his or her story dito sa Kapihan, no? Na kahit hindi ay i-welcome po kayo dito. Nagkataon lang talaga na yung mga guests natin na umuoo dun sa invite, mga IEs, no? So, yeah. So when you took the course, no, nung nag-start ka, how was your parang student life? I believe that kung kagagraduate mo lang last year, you are in, you're one of the graduates who really experienced the full length pandemic. So nung nag-pandemic, anong year mo na noon? Anong year level mo? Second year?
Yes, Sir Lex. Second year, pero 1 month na lang bago mag-end yung second year life ko. So basically, third year, fourth year ang pandemic studies ko.
So how was the experience? I mean, unlike other students na at least ikaw nasa third year ka na, you've experienced 2 years, we could consider 2 years na nasa school, yung may campus life, and then biglang nag-shift into virtual, and then nakataon pa that the last 2 years is basically the years na medyo critical because there's a lot of, requirements and all. Paano yung buhay as a student during the pandemic na ganun yung particularly yung setup na half physical, half traditional, half virtual.
So basically, Sir Lex, yung transition natin from face-to-face to virtual, very challenging kasi lahat tayo shook, di natin alam gamitin yung mga platforms. And nung third year ako, incoming third year, nag-student leader ako and ayun, tinry namin yung mga platforms talaga. So, very challenging siya. Tapos, yung communication. Pero sa tingin ko, out of the pandemic, may something tayong mas na-build from that. Kasi parang mas closer tayo sa families natin. Tapos, mas nag-discover tayo ng more ways to communicate. Well, now, remotely, kahit na back to face-to-face na tayo, meron tayong other ways of communications. I think yung pandemic may positive side naman. Kahit nasa students, medyo hirap kami kasi, ayun, tatry namin, try natin yung Google Meet, nagko-close, ayun, may mga ganun kami. Tapos, sa tingin ko, okay din yung student life ko working remotely kasi, ayun, nakakapag-meetings kami remotely online. Ayun. So, sa tingin ko, it's both good and a bad. Kasi, ang bad is yung internet connection. I think lahat naman tayo nagsasuffer kahit siguro ngayon na maulan.
Up until now naman, no, even after pandemic, I mean, di ba we're talking about, yung Sir Lex, parang bumababa yung frame rate ng video mo, sabi ko sa kanya. Kasi yung internet dito sa area namin, may ulan o wala, pareho lang eh. But yeah, that's actually a good point that you mentioned. I mean, we've been into a lot of us, I mean, basically all of us have been into this process of exploration, checking whether how things will work and whatnot. But at some point, no, I guess for students like yourself, marami rin kayong na access sa opportunity. Like for example, you could attend like you have the chance to attend webinars even outside the Philippines na parang kung hindi tayo nagkameron ng early acceptance or accelerated acceptance of technology, baka hindi masyado pa din tayo nag-a-adapt sa ganung format. If you would agree to that. Kasi even ako, ang dami ko rin naging speaking engagement talaga na, I mean, na feeling ko hindi ko makukuha kung wala yung ganong shift ng from face to face to virtual. So it really opened up also opportunity for everyone as you mentioned.
Yes po, Sir Lex. Very agree po ako na maraming opportunities na nag-open dahil sa pandemic. Where kasama dito yung mga remote learning natin. Maraming platforms na nag-open na ito open course kung gusto mo mag-try ng analytics, mag-try ng Lean Six Sigma remotely. Ayun, mas naging flexible and mas marami tayong platforms na pwedeng gawin. And I think, ayun, marami sa atin na nag-try mag-YouTube, magluto, maraming bagay. And ako rin po, Sir Lex, I take my Lean Six Sigma under Aslex Academy remotely last pandemic. Kaya, yes, I grabbed the opportunity to learn more, learn something new. Parang, I make my time worthwhile during the break.
Correct. Thank you for mentioning that Engineer Steph. So from what I've read earlier, you've been attending yun nga local and international research conference, no, especially 2021. So 2021, it was the second year of the pandemic, and you are uh third year, fourth year. Fourth year, tama ba? Yung
Opo.
2021. Oo. So nag-build up ulit yung sinasabi mo kanina na you're really into research. No, so, can you tell us more yung pag-attend mo ng mga conference? What is your goal? I mean, is it something that is it you're attending for like a requirement ba siya sa school or paano ba yung backstory nito?
Yung mga research conferences namin, bonus na lang siguro yung academic requirement. Pero kami as IEs or sa'min sa institution namin, goal din talaga namin na mai-present or to make us proud, to make our institution proud, to make the department proud through our researches. Kasi yung researches natin mga IEs or kahit sinong field, proud tayo na mai-present or maging representative ng Philippines. And ayun, happy naman kami na we're able to share knowledge with other countries. Meron din kami mga Q&A portion wherein they have suggested na ganito mas maganda sa mga next papers. And ayun, I think magkakaroon tayo ng continuous learning through different people, through attending conferences, representing our country, representing the institution, representing ourselves. And ayun, yung background siguro ng research na yun is, um, mga research na namin siya sa academe, tapos tinry namin siya i-apply sa mga conferences such as IEOM, APRU,
Mm-mm.
multi-hazards. And ayun, na-accept naman kami and we presented those papers that we have made during my academic year.
Yan, oo. Kaya ako natanong kasi actually doing my PhD right now sa Mapua. So hello sa mga prof ko, hello sa dean namin, hello sa mga classmates ko. So I mean, even without that being said, I think research or papers or studies, especially for those courses na required na magkameron ng mga company-based studies or kahit hindi company-based or whatever study that may be, are worth sharing. So that's the reason I asked kung ano ba siya. Is it something that the school required you to do so, or is it something that you would want to do and try to explore, try to meet new people? Because when you do attend research conferences or any type of conferences, the goal for you is to really expand your network, to learn from these people. So and it's a good feeling to see. I mean, this research being shared as early as from being a student, kasi nakakalungkot nung time na hindi pa uso yung mga gantong platforms, yung mga research paper talagang na nandun lang sa mga libraries ng mga schools and universities. As much as we want to access the knowledge, as in, hindi medyo limited talaga, kasi you have to go physically kasi nga syempre wala pa yung technology. But now, yun, parang we should take our part and try to, share this research, kasi it could help a lot of people, especially kapag hindi naman newfound knowledge, but parang advancement to an existing knowledge. Ano mo yun? Kaya kailangan natin ng maraming RL. Guys, maraming related literature. So, let's contribute to that. Hindi naman yun. So, you've experienced IEOM, 'di ba? Parang yung 'di ba, you'll be presenting along with really researchers from universities across the globe, 'di ba? So parang it's really a good feeling then to share insights, to take on inputs, and moving forward, paano ko ba mas alam mo yan, ma-improve yung craft ko in research. So that's the researches, no? So do you have plans? Kasi kung ngayon parang hindi na naman kailangan na mag-attend ka ng mga conferences, but you still have ba plans to to attend conferences?
To answer that question, Sir Lex, yes, I am looking forward to attend more conferences. Siguro pag nag-take ako ng another masteral by the next year. So ayun. So I want to improve more, improve my craft, and ayun, chase for excellence na. So yes.
Nice. So I was about to ask kasi given your profile, medyo into research, I think most likely you'll continue your education and pursue masters. No, most of the people that I know, nagtatanong sila, ano ba daw yung right na parang masters para sa kanila. So for your case kasi medyo defined, parang medyo na-define mo na kasi nga you have this inclination to research. But let's say, let's parang take that out from the picture. I want to get I want to pick up your brain here and ask you the question. Ano ba yung mabibigay mo suggestion for those people or young professional that wanted to pursue continuous education, let's say masters? Ano yung mga dapat sa tingin mo dapat nila i-consider when they choose the masters? Kasi 'di ba usually ang dami din pagpipilian eh, 'di ba? So baka we could pick your brain on this one and get some tips on how to decide kung ano yung parang masters na magandang i-take for one person.
Sa tingin ko po, ang best advice in taking anything or any choice in life, including yung continuous education nyo po, is something na ma-enjoy nyo yung process. Kasi once na na-enjoy mo yung something na ginagawa mo, yung craft mo, di mo na mamalayan yung oras eh, kasi nag-enjoy ka. And I think one factor yun sa pagiging excellent. Kasi gusto mo na mag-improve kasi gusto mo yung ginagawa mo, Sir Lex eh. So, if gusto niyo naman po ng practical advice regarding choosing your masters or any decision in life, siguro consider mo kung ano yung track na nasan ka ngayon. Kunyari ako, I'm working in demand and supply planning. So, ang supply is under supply chain. So, I think, or sino man nasa position ko, ang 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 master's namin is under supply chain or organizational management or operations research. Marami talagang pwedeng masters, pero you just need to choose kung saan mo gustong mag-focus. Kasi you need to fix your focus to get the goal. Siguro, yun po siguro yung ano natin. Kasi kailangan meron tayong target. Hindi tayo pwedeng, marami tayong gusto, pero kailangan natin mag-focus kahit sa isa. Then, we put our efforts dun sa bagay na yon. So, I think nagbigay ako ng isang practical and siguro based on your emotion. So, bahala na lang siguro tayo kung nandun na tayo sa part na yun sa pagde-decide.
Correct. Those are really good points that you mentioned. Nung just to share, nung nasa previous work ako, actually I decided na gusto ko mag-supply chain. So I was, looking into masters or MBA na may supply chain concentration kasi yun nga, to your point, that's something that's aligned to what I'm currently doing way back that time. Pero parang biglang nag-flip din eh. Parang sige, nag-change career ako. So basically the things that followed after meron din ng changes kasi nagpalit yung current ko na kumbaga from dati ito supply chain yung alignment. Nung lumipat ako, nag-focus ako ng onti dun sa mga business. Ayan, so medyo naging MBA track yung ko, and then ngayon I still want to I don't want to let go of my engineering background, so parang nasa engineering din yung yung interest ko. So like a bit parang mix of the two. So yun nga, tama yung sinabi ni Steph dito na it's really up to you how you would want to align or shape. Kasi parang all the things that you're doing, I don't know if you would agree, should be something that would lead you to your goal. Kumbaga parang kung ang goal mo sa supply chain na, edi you take something aligned with your supply chain. But if you see yourself not into that track, then probably you have to consider taking another track na would be aligned to kung saan ka man pupunta or kung saan mo nakikita yung sarili mo. So yeah, but to ask your question, to ask you this question, most likely you're gonna be taking master kasi we have like may mga diploma courses yata one school dyan sa TAF na nag-o-offer ng supply management ba yun? Parang ganun. Under PISM. Parang, I don't know kasi kung merong supply chain concentration yung MBA dito sa Philippines eh. Most of the schools that I know that offer outside the Philippines, usually Australia, parang ganyan. But I don't know, mas magaling ka naman sa research kaysa sa akin. So, but, for reference lang ng mga tao na nasa same track, baka you could give or you could spill some tea dun sa mga nakita mo na ng mga schools that offers supply chain?
So far
Meron
or
na
to
ba?
date, wala pa naman po. Kasi I'm
Ah, okay.
planning pa lang pero yeah.
Yeah, may mga ganun na pwedeng makita. Yan. All right. So, thank you for sharing that. So, yung mga nagtatanong kasi sa akin palagi, ano daw magandang i-masters? Again, we have the same answer. Actually, depende on anong gusto mong gawin sa buhay mo moving forward. Hindi naman yan parang gusto mo lang mag-take ng masters for the sake ng gusto mong mag-masters, diba? You would want to maximize and optimize your resource moving forward. Because taking masters, hindi rin naman siya ganun kamura. Right? So, let's talk about these other things that you've done by far. You've also been an active student leader. So, ano yung naging parang mga tulong nitong pagiging student leader mo in your during your college life to where you are right now as a demand and supply uh, planner, yan, or as a professional in general? Meron ba in any way?
Hello, yan po. Of course, meron po siyang natulong. Being part of an organization or being one member or leading people, I think yung pinakatulong sa akin ng leadership experience ko is how I work, etiquette in working, wherein alam ko how to communicate well sa mga tao. Kasi kung saan sila nanggagaling. Kasi I've talked to members, I've talked to top people, and ayun, siguro hindi naman ako ganun ka-perfect the first time. Marami rin akong pagkakamali sa communication side. Pero during joining organizations, talking to people, I learned from them na dapat ganito yung approach natin, mga ganun, Sir Lex. And I think sa supply planning, importante din yung pagko-communicate kasi pag planner ka, you need to communicate to different departments such as customer service, quality, production, and all. Kasi kailangan yung plano mo from start to finish magawa. So, ang pagiging student leader ko, mostly, ang communication skills ko ay nahasa and very helpful siya in planning. As well as yung analyzing sa paano ba ang approach yung gagawin para mas makatulong sa pagpaplano. I think yung dalawang yun, Sir Lex, ay very helpful sa work ko now.
So you mentioned about communication and I would say being adaptive whenever, because as a planner, the plan is, as good as parang the way it's gonna be executed. So parang the plan is just a plan unless otherwise you make it happen. And as we know, most of the cases, yung plan naman hindi 100% nasusunod, di ba? So with that having said, napag-usapan na lang din natin and maybe we could like go back to some of the details of your college and try to relate since masyadong malapit lang din naman yung timeline nung pagiging student and fresh grad. So parang trying to see the transition. You mentioned about you have like mistakes that you've done in terms of like things and you are brave enough to accept it. But let's say if we put into the context of the work that you do right now, syempre the plan as I mentioned earlier, hindi siya yung palaging natutupad kung the way you planned it. So paano yung workaround? Paano mo ginagawa yung workaround? How do you deal with this mga things that are not materializing based on plan?
If syempre may mga bagay talagang hindi nasusunod sa plano kahit saan naman. Ang ginagawa ko as a demand supply planner and kahit saan naman is proactively communicate talaga and frequently confer or nag-discuss ka talaga sa mga departments concerned. Kailangan mo erase yung mga concern mo or talk to your people na ganito yung concern, what is our approach. Kasi solutions, kailangan makapag-generate tayo ng solutions. And how can we generate solutions if we don't talk to your people? So I think kailangan, very important skill in any industry is communication. Siguro bonus lang sa akin na I'm part of student leadership, kaya na hone yung communication skills ko on how I deal with people. Pero ayun po, Sir Lex, sa people na nanonood,
Mm.
ang pinaka-ano natin is proactively communicate. We discuss so we could arrive to solutions that works best for the group para magawa natin yung plan. And we accordingly adjust the our solutions to the plan or the schedules that we have made. So, ayun po.
Oo. So, thank you for that insight, Engineer Steph. Having that said, no, of course, people who are watching, especially the soon to be part of the workforce natin, I think I can sense and I can, talking to younger people, they have this fear na they feel that they are not enough since they lack a lot of things because of the pandemic. No, and I think you could relate to this since you were affected by the pandemic. Like hindi kayo nakapag-internship na the way other, your previous batches have experienced. And now you're a demand and supply planner. You I would say not dictate but orchestrate things for the organization. Kasi you mentioned about talking to people, making the plan happen and whatnot. But how was it by far? I'm not trying to pick on the organization, but I'm trying to pick or try to highlight uh like a fresh grad or a young professional like yourself being in a position that is quite big kasi medyo mabigat yung mga role ng planner di ba? And being young and dealing with other people that could be seasoned or very experienced in the organization already. So, meron bang relative to communication, meron bang parang difficulty yung ganong scenario? Kasi parang kung ako yon putting myself on your shoe, feeling ko I would have like hesitations or parang inhibitions na baka hindi ako pakinggan or baka alam mo yon baka mamisinterpret ako. Paano yung ganon? Just to give like some tips or enlightenment to younger people who are listening.
So, if katulad ko kayo na or something na fresh grad going to a big industry or any industry, sa tingin ko para tayong blank canvas. Kahit na gano'n man tayo ka-achiever nung college or not, pagdating natin sa industry, we are so blank. Dumating ako in my company, I have no prior experience dun sa position na in-applyan ko. Pero I was inspired by the company culture that my company set out, and I'm happy na the people that inside that organization helped me, guide me, and inspired me to do more. I think bukod sa communication, importante rin sa isang group or sa working or anything is yung people na kasama natin. Kasi sila yung mga tao na tutulong sa atin, mag-a-assist sa atin to learn. Kasi di ko naman alam kung ano yung mga alam ko ngayon kung hindi dahil sa mga taong tumulong sa akin. And I give credit to all those people na tumulong sa akin, who give their trust in me, who believed in me since day one. I think, Sir Lex, we need to value and build lasting relationships with our people since day one or any time. We need to, ayun, Sir Lex, I think kailangan natin ma-practice na we be humble to ask for help. Kasi di naman natin alam to ask questions when needed.
Correct.
Or ask questions. Kasi di natin alam, we're not perfect and we need to admit. And after nun siguro, we do the work. We do the work. We work hard. We try to achieve. Kahit na we fail, we need to try and try until we succeed. And siguro achieve natin more than we set dun sa goal natin.
Mm-mm.
Continuous improvement, continuous excellence. We chase for excellence.
Mm. So, I like what you pointed out dun sa asking for help, asking for questions. Kasi most of us, we have like a fear to be judged or baka ako lang to. Pero parang we have this fear na pag nagtanong tayo, parang ayaw natin magmukhang walang alam, na hindi natin alam yung isang bagay. So, we tend to set out na sige ta-try ko na lang ganyan. Okay lang naman 'yon. I guess that's one of the human nature that you could, you could be on that shoe, you could be on that position na you try, you set out things, you try for things. But sometimes, accessing the knowledge and wisdom of people who've been already there, been there, done that, di ba, ganon. So, walang masamang magtanong, especially when you are in the position na, yun nga, to Steph's point na you're like a canvas, blank canvas, that you need to be like someone who would want to learn things, and you would be seeking guidance to from the seasoned and full of wisdom people. So it's really just a matter of positioning yourself to be that person who would absorb all the things that needs to be absorbed, and then moving forward, try to make use of that, modify, tweak to whatever purpose you set out it to be. And yeah, kailangan talaga ng gano'n, no? It's for me, ang sabi ko nga, may teacher ako during college, kami nung college, na parang sinasabi niya, okay lang na magmukhang uh, that word, parang mukhang engot, parang one time, kaysa parang palagi kang mukhang engot kasi hindi ka nagtatanong, parang ganon. So I guess that's a very powerful na guidance din, no? But yeah, thank you for mentioning that. Let's try to step back lang a little bit, kasi I'm really interested to this one that you mentioned in your profile, this ASEAN Foundation Model ASEAN meeting. I've heard of, similar things, but I guess this one is a little bit different. So can you tell us more about this? Parang ano yung nangyari dito? How were you able to apply for this? What is this all about, and whatnot?
Yes, Sir Lex. So, just to share this ASEAN Foundation Model ASEAN, it is my first time applying for the said program, wherein my professor reached out to me and said na, try mo mag-apply, Steph, ganyan. I really don't know the background of it, pero I tried to applied. Kasi, ayun, opportunity siya. When opportunity knocks, try mo kung assess mo yung sarili mo or recognize mo yung sarili mo if kaya mo or gusto mo. And I think na-pick niya yung interest ko dahil it is about promoting positive and active participation of young people in the ASEAN region. So basically, it's like a mini ASEAN na ang kasama ko is um, young people or young generation like me, and iba't ibang countries na ASEAN countries din yung kasama ko. We are in the quest of um, discussing continuous peace, solidarity, progress. And yung experience na yun is a very fulfilling kasi I have learned from different people, walks of life, pero ganito sila ganito kami mag-discuss. And ayun, Sir Lex, going back, ang pag-apply ng ASEAN or ng AFMAM is we have these topics, then gagawa ka ng essay mo based on that topic. Tapos nag-send lang din ako ng requirements ko, and sabi, madalang ang makakuha ng slot sa ASEAN kasi it's a big, and thousands ng students like me ang nag-a-apply for this said foundation. And this is not limited to industrial engineering only. Meron ditong architecture. I have met na makasama ko, sila, law. Kasi basically, this is negotiation eh. Problem solving. And ayun, ang tinatakal natin dito is globalization. Ayun po, Sir Lex. So, this is not limited
Mm.
to any course or as long
Mm.
as may passion ka sa ganitong field, you can apply.
Mm. So this one is under ASEAN Foundation.
Yes,
Itong
ASEAN
ito.
po.
Oh, oo. Actually, maganda yung mga programs ni ASEAN Foundation, no? I've been also applying for some of the programs. They do have a lot. I mean, and they are strong in terms of youth empowerment, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah. So this one, this has been held online or virtual, or may mga sessions ba kayo na physical?
Yes. Um, the AFMAM that I did join dahil pandemic pa, naging ano siya, virtual. Pero dapat sa Cambodia siya i-held. So, yeah.
Hmm.
Dahil sa restrictions, dahil marami po tayong ASEAN countries na kasama, nilimit nila
Mm.
yung program sa virtual last time.
Mm. So for from thousands of applications, it has been trimmed down into 190 students being part of this AFMAM, and 19 are from the Philippines, as you mentioned in your profile. And Steph, no po, for those who are listening and watching. Again, by the way ha, segue lang mabilis. Yung mga episodes po pala natin ay available na. Some of the episodes rather are now available in Spotify. You can search our podcast at Spotify at Kapihan with Sir Lex podcast. Si commercial. So, for those people who are watching or listening, si Steph po ay na-awardan or na delegate rather as the senior official for ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community. So tell us more about this. So after nung mga common activities, I would say, na ginawa ninyo ng 190 students, and I believe this is, cross cultural, cross group ganyan. Ano yung ine-expect dun sa role na dinelegate sa'yo sa senior official for ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community? Is this something that you would be doing even after that parang program?
No, Sir Lex, the title would be all throughout the program only na nag-last ng 2 weeks. Kasama na po
Oh.
dun yung trainings namin and then
Mm.
pag-research and paggawa ng mga papers.
All right. So how do you plan to make use of the learnings that you've acquired from this, given the things that you are doing or you would want to do in the future?
Naputol po, Sir Lex, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Paano mo gustong gamitin or paano mo nakikitang magagamit tong natutunan mo dito sa AFMAM sa mga future parang projects or initiatives na gusto mong gawin?
So,
Like
I
parang
think,
from learn, meron ka bang sige tutuloy ko to parang even after the program.
opo, Sir Lex. So, this ASEAN model, I believe my experience helped me sa pag-address ng difficulties ng mga address ng globalization natin. And ayun, mas nalaman ko yung mga sustainable developments natin. Mas informed ako, well aware ako sa mga nangyayari. And ayun, I'm happy na yung mga delegates ko is proactively generating solutions sa mga problems natin. Kasi we also trained to negotiate. Kami-kami nag-uusap-usap to come up with a paper na kaming 190 students ay kami yung gumawa. Aside from the competitions na meron kami. So, nakaka-proud na we have this group of people thinking solutions sa current na problems natin here in the society. And I think very good siya, very good training ground para mas mahasa yung critical thinking natin, problem-solving abilities, communication, and ayun, siguro significantly na-educate yung younger generation natin with the fundamental competencies of leadership, universal values, and life skills.
Hmm. Makes sense. Kasi kumbaga parang these programs are being made for, yeah, as you mentioned, younger generation to be equipped with the things that they need to really do, aligned with the sustainable development goals of the UN and what and some other large initiatives, no, na that is deployed globally. So yan. So thank you for sharing that, no. And I'm looking forward, hopefully, when time comes, you also are pursuing like an initiative or a passion project na could help a lot of young leaders or um, younger people to be more informed, to be well equipped with information and whatnot. So yeah, I guess yeah, we were able to cover things really fast. And but before we do, let's maybe have some run through of people who are, you know, listening and watching, is being with us. We have like a high turnover of listeners and watchers ba yun? Viewers, watchers. Parang election lang ah. So let's start with AJ. And good evening, sir. Good evening also from Miss Melody of course, Kahiro. Hi, magandang gabi po, Miss Melody. See you soon. See you in the next coming weeks. Ayan. So, one of the founder of a startup called Kahiro. Ayan. Of course, one of my friends and my kaklase from ITC, Raymond. Magandang gabi. We missed you during the last few days. We also have a student from RTU, Brian Barba. Ayan, IE din yan. Hello, hello. We have Ingrid. Ayan, one of our interns. Ayan. And shout out to Des, of course, to Chess, to Miss Juby, to Doc Ray. Ayan. Mga tropang Astoria. And Zen from Zen. We also have from Ayla. Good evening. From Dory. Good evening. And we have from Charmaine Mangohig. Hi, Ate Steph. Hu, miss you. Ayan. From Chess. Hi, Sir Lex. Hi, Den, Chess. From Des, pa-fan sign. Ano ko, may bayad po yung fan sign. But anyways, ayan, thank you. Up to this point, thank you, Steph, no, for sharing all of those things. And, it's really good to hear fresh perspectives from young people like yourself. And, there's a lot of things that awaits you since kaka-start mo lang ng journey mo as a young professional. Siguro before I go to dun sa top 3 lessons learned, bigla lang din it came to me, baka meron ka mga tips, for fresh graduates who are finding work or maybe applying for jobs, things that could, inspire them na to be excited, to be part of the workforce. Baka you could have like some tips before we go into the top 3 lessons learned.
Siguro po para sa tip ko sa mga fresh graduates is, take time to think, take time to breathe. Kasi marami rin sa mga batchmates ko na pressured, kasi sila nagsipag-applyan na prior to graduation. And ayun, sana naman hindi kayo sa work na lilipat dahil hindi kayo happy. Kaya first tip ko sa inyo is take time to think, take time to breathe. Kasi these are life choices. Isha-shape nito kung magiging sino ka, or paano yung mo sa industry. Ito yung first time mo na magkakaroon ka ng work experience na alam mo na matatatak talaga sa isip mo. Kasi yung first work natin, yun yung parang mai-inspire tayo, and hopefully yung lessons nun is madala natin till the end. So take time to breathe, take time to think. Then second siguro is research. Di research na paper, pero I want you to research talaga dun sa mga roles na ina-applyan natin. And ibangga natin siya dun sa kung sino tayo. Sa tingin ba natin Pasok ba tayo dito? Kaya ba natin? Sa tingin ba natin, ito ba yung gusto kong i-pursue for the next 5 years? We should think long term. So, sa tingin ko, kailangan research. Basahin nyo and acknowledge nyo. Isipin nyo, the next 5 years, happy ba ako na ganito yung gagawin ko? Ito ba yung nakikita ko? From now, ito yung gagawin ko till the next 5 years or more to come. Siguro yung last tip natin is to pray. Pray, acknowledge natin yung guidance ni God sa mga decisions natin. And siguro, magpatulong na rin tayo sa mga people that we trust na maghingi tayo ng onting advice. Nung time ba na nag-apply ka, ano yung mga sa tingin mo tips din. We learn from people and we also trust God. Trust the process. So I think yun yung siguro Sir Lex yung tips ko for sa mga fresh grads na maghahanap ng work.
Lessons learned, no? So, number one is, sabi nga niya, take time to think, no? Dun sa mga decisions, especially when you're applying for your first job, try to understand. Number two is try to understand really what are the requirements. And number three, of course, ask guidance from the Lord and from people who are around you. That's why it's very important also to connect with people. Even you're a student, try to connect with professionals. Try to see what they're doing. We have LinkedIn, and if you're not having thoughts of taking into account LinkedIn, puntahan nyo para at least malaman nyo ano ba yung mga pinagagagawa ng mga professionals from based on what they're posting, and try to connect with them, ask them, no, para at least you have an idea, kasi you'll never know what awaits you on that work. I mean, you could read the description of the work, but it could be a little bit different when it comes to the actual work. So mas maganda magtanong-tanong kayo para at least you have that, you have that perspective, no. But anyways, thank you again, Engineer Steph. Papahingahin lang natin ng very, very quick si Steph kasi tatanungin natin siya ng top 3 lessons learned. So, I'm gonna pull out her from the screen and read some ano lang dito from our partners and sponsors. See you in a short while, Engineer. All right. We are still again in, of course, Season 3, Episode 14, featuring none other than si Engineer Stephanie Christine Landicho. Ang dami natin natutunan about, being a student, all the interest on research, and pursuing things that is aligned to what you have right now, your interest, your skills, and whatnot. So, yeah, fresh grads should watch or listen to this episode really. So, but of course, we would like to recognize the parties or entities that made this session possible. We have, of course, Aslex Speech Academy. We have 2OS, Data Analytics Made Easy. You can still get a copy or access, no, to our 2OS platform. You could visit or search for alpha2os.com. We also have Pinoy IEs. We have iExcel CIE Review Center. Blessed Startup Podcast PH. Ayan. Also, our podcast, Kapihan with Sir Lex podcast, is also now available at Spotify, and we publish the first 3 episodes with, of course, Engineer Mark Angelo Purio, Dr. Philip Ermita, and Engineer Clarissa J. Moncayo. So please check our podcast at Spotify. And there's gonna be a good thing that's gonna happen this June first week sa Aslex. So please be on top of that news. Go head over to our Facebook page and other social media platforms, LinkedIn, YouTube, to learn more about it kasi merong mangyayaring maganda. And if you want to avail of this shirt, sabi nga nung isa nating magandang shirt, we have the link here sa ating comment section. So yan, proceeds, actually we're using this to to continuously do our projects and programs. Ayan, kasi we're getting the funds actually from several business units that we have and put the funds into this project. So your purchase would really help out us to continue what we're doing in terms of our community services. Ayan. So with that, let's invite again to our screen si Engineer Steph. Ayan, to ask her about her top 3 lessons learned.
Hello guys, I'm sharing with you my top 3 lessons learned. Firstly, you are never too old or too experienced to learn something new. Again, you are never too old or too experienced to learn something new. I believe you should believe in your ability to be and achieve your goals. So keep on learning, guys. You are never too old or too experienced to learn something new. My second takeaway or my second learning from this session is to be fearless. Be fearless. Be fearless because these opportunities don't come along very frequently. Di yan laging dumadating. But you should utilize or seize them when they do. You should recognize those opportunities na para sa'yo. Be fearless. My third point or third lesson to impart to you is work hard with all your heart and take pride in what you do. Work hard with all your heart and take pride in what you do. Kailangan gawin natin lagi yung best natin. Best foot lagi. Lagi natin gagawin ang best natin sa lahat ng bagay na ginagawa natin.
All right. Thank you, Steph, for those nuggets of wisdom, no? So, balikan lang natin, no, before we ask for the concluding words from Steph for this season 3, episode 14. Number 1, sabi niya, you are never too old or too experienced to learn something new. May mga gumagraduate nga na lolo o lola ng high school, di ba? Or college. So, age is just a number, sabi nga nila. And number 2 is be fearless, to be fearless. When sabi kanina ni Steph, if I remember it right, when opportunity knocks, grab it, take it. Kasi hindi mo alam kung meron pa bang round 2 yon or second chance, di ba? And last is work hard with all your heart and take pride on what you do. And this will stem to what always Steph is mentioning, no, during the session, yung chase for excellence. So, ibig sabihin, sabi nga, no, ito bago lang to na-figure out ko or nalaman ko, yung palang quote na excellence is not a choice, it's a habit. Parang, hindi pala, excellence is not an act, it is a habit. Sabi kasi nila, it's Aristotle. So, it's not Aristotle, it's another person. So, may issue pala yun na parang misaccounting of or in taking into account kung sino nagsabi. So, ibig sabihin, if we continuously do whatever we need to do and we align it to achieving excellence, it will happen. Ito yung isang sabihin siguro kanina dun sa, if I interpret, no, for my case, ito yung na-visualize ko na gusto niyang i-share sa atin. At least for my case. So again, thank you, Engineer Steph, no, for this top 3 lessons learned. Now, I'll be asking you to, of course, as we conclude the session, share your concluding words to our.
So, hello guys. This is Stephanie or this is Engineer Steph and I hopefully you are inspired to do more, to dream big. I want you to take your chance to make a change. And I hope we chase for excellence. We trust the process. Thank you for joining this Kapihan session with me. Hope you learned something new.
All right. Thank you, Engineer Steph. We really learned a lot from you, no? Especially yung mga nanood natin, mga interns natin, nag-i-internship natin, mga papagraduate, mga kakagraduate lang. So, ang dami rin nagsasabi dito ng mga thanks to you. So, basahin lang natin, no? Before we let you go. Yan, good evening, Engineer Steph and Sir Lex from Jaira, of course. Sabi ni Chess, hi Steph, if you're considering a postgraduate studies, you can go for Masters in Science Studies. There's also UP Open University is offering since you have experience na how projects or program in ASEAN works. From Des, love it. Work hard with all your heart and take pride of what you do. Ayan. Thank you then. Thank you from Engineer Steph from Melanie Madrigal, of course. From Ma'am Kathy, thank you, Engineer Stephanie, and from Raymond, thank you for sharing. So they really appreciate this session with you, and maraming salamat again. Hope you could connect with Steph. Meron siyang of course Facebook, pero I guess you could connect with her via LinkedIn. And hanapin niyo lang, I guess it's Stephanie Christine Landicho rin naman. So with that, maraming salamat, and some members of the team will be contacting you for some tokens from our end. Thank you, Steph.
Thank you, Sir Lex, and thank you all. Have a good night.
So ayan po, no? Again, that was Kapihan with Sir Lex, Season 3, Episode 14, with none other than Engineer Stephanie Christine Landicho. And we are now down to the closing. See you po again to the next Kapihan session. We were able to complete yung main natin. Medyo may na-skip tayo. But please, don't forget to subscribe to our social media pages. We're at AskLex Page Academy. And of course, follow our podcast at Spotify. Yan, para naman at least mas marami tayong ma-reach. With that, maraming salamat, and let's continue to be #significantly better through accessible and sustainable lifelong learning together. Bye! Maraming salamat po!